What's going on, you guys? My name is Rage, and we are back today to continue where we left off here in Dark Dimension 7 Node 2. Having said that, it's going to be using the exact same characters as last time, being Skrull, APOC, we have Black Knight in addition to Vulture and Robbie Reyes. Having said that, let's get right to it. Our replacement's going to be the exact same. Having Skrull in the middle is really good because of the fact that when he gets the stealth, then they can stop the adjacent attacks, but as well, Black Knight being able to taunt on spawn, and then obviously dragging that damage and attention to APOC is going to help, especially if they get attacked. We're going to be getting additional turn meter, especially if APOC drops lower. So if you guys recall from my last attack, we did do quite a bit of good work on this initial wave here, and many of these Undying characters already weakened up, so that's great. There's a pretty devastating next wave that drops, so something to be mindful of here. And we had really good cooldowns as well. So what I do recommend for this wave anyways is just cleaning up the weaker enemies. But, a big one to really target here is actually going to be Spider Slayer. I had a chance to run it through before I started recording. And, he does actually do a really devastating attack here. So that's why I'm spending a bit more time and attention on him, even focusing on APOC's ultimate there. And with the bleed, he's going to be taken care of, no problem. But yeah, he had a devastating ability. And some of the times, you might have to just go into the match to see what your enemies will do. So that way you can essentially predict what the next turn is going to be. And that's exactly what we did there. It's unfortunate because I would have loved to save my APOC ultimate for the next wave. But we saw that with Spider Slayer, he was able to one-shot someone on my team. So we're just going to prevent and mitigate that miss there. So having said that, now we are now taking advantage of this and finishing up this last and final wave here. But take advantage of the fact that you can build up energy here, because that's going to be pretty opportune just to prepare, obviously, for the next wave. Okay, so now we're finishing up this wave here, and this is going to spawn actually a massive Bifrost team here that we have to be mindful of. I recommend, guys, slowing down and turn meter rewinding the big time Spider-Man. He hits like an absolute truck, but also going down the middle is nice because we actually avoided hitting characters like Spider Weaver and then landing the ability block on her. That way she's not getting charges. We use Robbie to control Beta Ray Bill, so that way he's not getting off his taunt. And now we are focusing just down that middle because I think big time has to be one of the priority targets for this wave. If you guys were able to save your Apocalypse ultimate, he's definitely a good target to have in this matchup right here. That big time can hit like a truck. And now that we kind of have the stage set with all the debuffs, we're in a great opportunity here to take advantage of Super Skrull's damage. So having his ultimate, the trauma, the debuffs, boom, 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 make really short work of this wave now. And now we're just compounding with the passive damage that Skrull can obviously do here. And we have a lot of debuffs, which is very opportune for us. And again, you can just take your time. Obviously, if you can't attack big time when he's shrouded, then you just do what you can. But this is why I love Robbie, the fact that he can flip that stealth after his charges activate. And you can even use, once again, Apocalypse's damage right there just to adjacent attack. But you also want to be mindful here, right? There's 12 enemies remaining, so there's still another big wave that comes after this. So now we're having to, obviously balance off our time and cooldowns, because you also want to be starting off the next node. I've heard node 3 is actually the hardest node in this initial section for Dark Dimension 7. So you do want to be ready to go here. If your cooldowns aren't good when you wrap up this node, that's going to be obviously problematic for us to have that really unfortunate start there. So this is pretty good. It's unfortunate Spider Weaver was able to actually use her attack, but thankfully, we actually have Apocalypse who can bypass the charges, which is great. So I'm actually using his special there to heal us up a little bit, do a little bit of damage. And as you can see, we never really gave big time a chance to attack us, which is kind of opportune here. And then shortly afterwards, that at the 9 out of 33 enemies mark, it does actually spawn this partial last wave here. There's actually another big time followed up with a double zombie jugs, in addition to another Beta Ray Bill. So they just really like tacking on this mixture here against us. So we're still doing really good. Our cooldowns are still okay. We have Vulture going down the middle there with the offense down, and that is actually going to prompt now the part 2 of this final wave here, being Rogue, another Beta Ray Bill, and then as well as Teen Loki. So not sure what the timing on that. Maybe they all drop together, or maybe it's kind of staged like what we just saw. But it is what it is. We're not here to obviously figure out why that's the case, but it played out this way. Now, guys, I will say this. Like, this is turning out to be a very, very good second attack here. But when I was going through this, it's going to be hard to finish up because you have to keep in mind, even if you do one-shot the rest of this with the second attack here, you want to make sure your allies aren't in a bad position for cooldowns, right? And especially once you see some of these characters are going to hit like an absolute truck. The zombie Jugs hits like a truck. The Beta Ray Bill hits like a truck. So it really depends on who you want to target. The big times are also very high offense driven as well. So it really depends. Now we have a great chance here. Apocalypse actually got all the cooldowns back now with his ultimate. So I definitely would highly recommend, if you guys haven't cleaned up this wave yet, to use his ultimate. And it's either going to be a Beta Ray Bill or a zombie Jugs. Either or, pick your poison, because it's all going to be the same. Once they get their attacks off, as you'll see in a bit here, they just hit so hard that I find it hard to finish off this in a nice clean attack, because if you want your cooldowns to be ready as well for the next node, I actually recommend you purposely failing, or at least like taking up half this team and then saving up some attacks so that that way you can build up some energy for the next node, because you just do not want to be starting node 3. From what I've seen from other content creators and just what I've seen online with the maps, is that you don't want to be starting off node 3 with cooldowns because of how powerful some of the enemies we're up against. Like I think we're messing around with Extreme X-Men with some Darkhold members. It's pretty scary stuff. So right there, I didn't mention it earlier, but just because I didn't really care. I wanted the bleeds to eventually take out Rogue, but you can see how hard Rogue absolutely hits. And if you're able to waste more of these characters' ultimates or specials like Zombie Jugs and Rogue, it's opportune here, because now you can burn some of their abilities. But now this is a great spot to be in, guys. Seeing as there's only a few enemies left, now we can go in for the final finish here. And again, I'm a big fan of partially not finishing this from my previous Dark Dimensions, is because it gives us more time now to build up cooldowns. As you guys can see, Skrull doesn't even have a special or ultimate ready. So can you imagine if we wrap this up and all of a sudden, we're starting off node 3 like this? Like that's exactly kind of what I'm talking about here, right? So now, not only do we have a chance to kind of shut some of these characters down, but characters like Vulture, like Skrull, not having their abilities ready, this is what I see as kind of a gift, right? Because you're going to be using the same attempt anyway, starting off node 3. Like for example, if I can finish this off, I can start node 3 right away. That's why it's really important, guys. If you can just, even if you purposely fail the attack, just so that your allies fall, so that way you can get an extra opportunity here to build up cooldowns, I think it's more strategic like this. And that's kind of why I'm taking my time now and going through the attacks, right? And you may have to get the RNG just right, but thankfully we were left with only 4 or 5 characters remaining. You can see that Rogue once again gets her stun again, so she may have one of those like those cheating kind of mechanics where the cooldowns are just reset every time, because that's how she took us out in the last attack, right? So definitely something to be mindful of. We have Super Skrull's, thankfully his exposure there, so we can do some passive damage there while we're just cleaning up now in this left corner. And now I used Apocalypse's special because it was opportune to control, but remember, it's really his ultimate that's going to be the most important, so that's fine. We're not going to be relying on his special too much in the next node anyways, hence why I was okay in using that. And now if you're left with these 3 guys, highly recommend and just trying to buy as much time as possible. We see Beta Ray Bill and Zombie Jugs actually being already basically on the brink of death. So we're taking our time here now and just doing our work and just finishing up these characters here. But remember, now this is the time to use the basic abilities. Try not to use any special or ultimate, because you're just gonna be wanting to let the bleeds do its thing. As you can see, I'm targeting Teen Loki because he doesn't have the adjacent damage, so I'm not doing a little bit more. And then Beta Ray Bill, he got the short end of the stick here being the final member, but that's okay because we expected him to, be one of the tankier characters anyways, but thankfully we ability blocked him. And now this is what I'm talking about, guys. Just we're using our basic abilities. Try to practice this if you can, and then boom, now our cooldowns are in really good position here. And that's kind of the strategy you should be thinking about, right? In terms of just efficiency, but as well as streamlining how to pursue these nodes, best preparing your characters, and giving them the best setup at the very beginning. So in total, node 2, 3 total attacks. As you can see, attack 1 and attack 2 obviously being the bulk, and finally that nice necessary attack 3 to clean things up. And as per usual with me finishing a node, guys, I want to show you where I'm ranking right now following that completion. So still top 2500 right now at 15% here, and again only being 46 million TCP. We're in a great spot here to keep on pushing this. So guys, thank you for following along. I'll keep you posted on the next node. Thank you, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.